Agreed. Yeah.
So, Kyle, back to what you were saying before about how you think that like healthcare should be like limited or more done by the government. So because of course everyone always thinks about like what's important for them, I would disagree on some of that stuff because like, like up in Canada, like if you need, like let's say that I need ACL surgery and I was from Canada because I know this has happened to other fighters. You need some kind of surgery. Well, it's all universal healthcare, so you're on a waiting list. So it's like, okay, well, we're gonna get to you when we get to you. It's gonna be like in 6 months. So whereas here, it's like if I need ACL surgery, I go to the doctors, I get it done right away. If I have to pay extra to get into someone that's better or faster or whatever, I can do that. For me, like that stuff is like super super important. So I think that more privatized healthcare works out in my favor. Because sometimes maybe I need maybe so and so down the street tore their ACL, but they don't really do anything. Like they sit at a desk and it's not a big deal. But for me, I need surgery like yesterday.
Yeah.
So,
I think you need a private market. I think you need both, right? I feel like you need a private sector and a sort of government-run sector as well. Hey, give me that big fucking coffee.
There's a challenge with the completely capitalism version of medical stuff, and it's this. And longtime listeners have heard this before, but like when people are sick, they have to pay anything to get better. That's it. Like syphilis, right? Syphilis is a disease that will kill you. Right, it'll rot your brain out. It rots your skull.
Al Capone died.
It's okay. It's a deadly disease, syphilis, and it is cured with 50 cents worth of penicillin. Right, the cure for it, we figured it out like 100 years ago.
Al Capone had like $20 million, but he walked around every day with pus ejecting from his cock, and instead of going and getting that shit. And think about that. That guy was such a maniac that instead of going and getting a penicillin
so let me finish
shot
my point. So. Syphilis
I like Kyle's point.
Yeah, fuck Kyle. I get interrupted all the time, and they only talk about my interruptions. So syphilis will kill you, and it costs 50 cents to fix it, but pharmaceutical companies will charge $1 million for the thing if unregulated because you have no choice. You have to pay everything you own. You have to mortgage your house. You have to sell you an arm and a leg to save your own life. And it's an area where perhaps some government regulation would make sense because you're at the mercy. It's not like car shopping. It's not like buying clothing where, one, you have some knowledge of what you like, and two, you can just go to a competitor. It's a pure capitalism market. I don't think it works well for healthcare.
Maybe not pure capitalism, but I also don't like the idea of the U.S. government being the single payer, and they have so much power and authority. And as we know, they kind of tend to fritter away money and funds. And I just don't trust them to use the money as efficiently as they could. Like, they'll spend a crazy amount of money fixing a road that actually ends up taking 4 years. And, like, there are roads that you'll drive on that have, like, at least around here, there's, like, one I can think of, been under construction for, like, 8 years. Nothing gets done. It's just, like, they poured money into it, and then, I guess, a contractor backed out or whatever. And now it's just a road that's not finished. Like, the government isn't... They got too much shit on their plate to handle a thing that big without becoming bigger, and I'd prefer a smaller government if possible.
It's a tricky thing, right? I mean, I'm with you. Like, as a member of the public, sometimes it feels like the government couldn't properly run a 2-car parade.
Dude, yeah.
Right? Yeah. But, do you trust Dow Chemical to run it better? In some cases, yeah. There's lots of people competing. They're trying to, if they want to do it well, if they want to get tomorrow's job, they better do this one properly. That's why capitalism does well. In other cases, you're like, no, this guy Martin Skrillfuck or whatever will just charge you $100,000 for some drug his company figured out 30 years ago.
Yeah, so there should be some regulation.
I'm less and less impressed as time has gone on, as I've gotten older, with like people's individual ability to get stuff done. I feel like when I was a little kid, I felt like my parents knew everything, and they could do, they could do no wrong, and they were like, anytime I had a question, they were the people to go and talk to. And then as you get older, you realize that they just don't know any more than you do. They just done it a little bit more. And I feel like everything, like anyone I've met, like people that run like really big successful businesses, and I'm like, this guy's no smarter than my retard brother. It's no smarter than this guy. You know what I mean?
Which one is that?
Both of them, my sister, me, everyone. It's just like everyone. Like, I think that sometimes like you think that individual people are that they have all the answers, whatever. And I really don't think that's ever the case. I think it's whenever it's something successful, it's almost always like a group effort of just a lot of like people that are pretty good and they all fill each other's, where everyone has oversights and where they have lapse and experience filled in.
You ever run in? You ever meet a guy and it's the opposite of that though? You ever meet a guy and you're just blown away by how intelligent and
Sometimes.
like bright he is? Like maybe he's just an expert on a particular thing, and you're just like, your brain has a wealth of knowledge in it that I can't even start scratching.
But whenever I meet someone like that, I always know that they have this wealth of knowledge on this one thing. But on the other hand, I know they can't pay their water bill, or they can't pay their car insurance, or they can't I feel like everyone's got roughly the same amount of intelligence. It's just
I don't know. I know some guy. I've met a couple guys, and I was blown away. I know one guy in particular. He's an engineer, and he reads and writes 4 languages, and he's a mechanical engineer. He can build things with his hands,
Yep.
big machines and he takes them apart, and he anti-aircraft guns and turret guns from World War II. He'll read the German engineering blueprints and diagrams and stuff, and he'll be like, oh yeah, I know how to do this. And that guy is just every time I talk to him on just about any subject, he just seems like he's a real genius. It's amazing to talk to people like that.
Geniuses are cool, but I'm sorry, I thought there was a break, but just as cool are doers, right? I saw there was a woman, she didn't ask me anything on Reddit. I think there was something wrong with her hands or arms or something. And she's like, one of the toughest things is I wish I could curl my hair. And a day or two later, he's like, you know what? He just seemed like a regular guy. He kind of spoke a little country. And he's like, but, I like to mess around in the shop. So I came up with this. And he demonstrates how now she can curl her hair without, everybody else's fingers. And I looked at his solution.
What did she have? What did she have going on?
I think she had maybe no thumb action or something. Yeah, flipper hand action type thing going on. I don't remember exactly. But he looked at what she had to work with, and he built a solution. Where I guess she had no fingers, but she had a wrist. And with just a working wrist, you could see how he built a functional, those hair frying things, the curlers. And it was
in my head, I'm imagining it on a power drill to get the rotation. And imagine now make sure you put it in low gear now, all right? And she's like, all right. She uses her fucked up wrist to manipulate this DeWalt power drill.
I think
suddenly she's got no fingers and no scalp.
I think really it was the clamping action.
Old greasy head Susan over there. Big patch missing. It's all sticky.
God damn, did a Navajo get a hold of you? What the fuck?
What was impressive about the guy was that he did something. He was a doer, right? Tons of people do abstract art, and you look at it and you say, I could do that, but you didn't. It took someone to actually give it a go. I looked at his solution for this, and in hindsight, it seemed obvious to me. But I read the AMA, and I didn't build that. That guy was a doer. And there are tons of people with lots of abilities